What's good, people? Sam O'Reilly Fight Talk in association with CombatDocket.com. Only one place to start for me. Last weekend's boxing. The Friday night, St George Groves fought at Wembley Arena against Edward Gertnek, which is that one right there. Great fight. I mean, personally, I think they should have stopped the fight 8 or 9 rounds in when Gertnek's eye exploded, and you know, he was a long way behind on the judges' scorecards. There was no way for me he was going to get back into it. Took unnecessary damage. Tough man who kept walking forward and was never looking for a way out at any time during the fight. So massive respect to him. You know, I hope his health is okay. I know he went to the hospital straight after the fight. So let's hope, you know, it doesn't impact his future career. But George Groves, you know, he looked good. People were saying I should have got for the stoppage and so on. I thought he boxed well. I thought he never looked in danger at any moment against a guy that was very walk forward, you know, in his face, constantly throwing punches. And I think Groves dealt with him very well, and I thought it was a good performance from Groves. And now hopefully he'll get the fight with Chudanov in the early part of next year. Also on that card with Dan Keenan and Dino Richardson, 2 guys that, you know, I've had big dealings with, really good guys. I get on with them really well. I'm in contact with them a lot. 2 great performances from them. Dan won on points, even though he broke his hand, I believe, or fractured his hand in the first round. So a very good performance from him to come and win the fight. And Dean Richardson's going from strength to strength. 3 fights in his first year as a pro, 3 knockouts. Awkward, southpaw, tall, and just he's so down to earth, so humble, such a good guy. I really believe he can go a long way in this game. Speaking to his promoter after the fight, Steve Goodwin, he believes the same as well. So I can't wait to see him back in there. Both boys hoping to get out, I think, early part, maybe March time next year. So, you know, good performance for those 2. Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev last Saturday in Las Vegas. What a fight. I mean, it is the one fight I can honestly say I've seen people in boxing, really well-known people who know their boxing, disagree so much on a fight. People said 116, 111 to Kovalev. People said 115, 112 to Ward. I've seen lots of different scorecards that people would come up with. And it's interesting, you know, 114, 113, all 3 judges gave it on the night to Andre Ward, even though he was knocked down early on in the fight, and he fought Kovalev. Kovalev, in a way, had him in his own game plan for the first 4 to 5 rounds. You know, he walked Ward down. He was constantly the aggressor, and I think it was only the last 6 or 7 rounds in the fight where Ward really boxed more to his game plan. Although Kovalev was still moving forward, he didn't get involved in as many exchanges later on in the fight. Me personally, I wanted to watch the fight again. I haven't got around to it because I've been so busy working, but when I first watched it, I agreed with the judges. 114, 113, very, very close for Andre Ward, and that was just for me, just because he picked his punches better and he landed more. I mean, well, I say landed more. Some of the stats said Kovalev landed more, threw more, etc., etc. But as I alluded to before the fight, sometimes flicks off shoulders and little bits here and there don't always, you know, what are stats? I don't necessarily agree with what stats say. I looked on my own opinion, what I watched, and you know, more significant punches landed. And for me personally, I had Andre Ward winning that fight by a very, very, very slim margin. I want to see the rematch. I'm sure it will. It's bound to happen. It has to happen. Public demand. You know, Ward could go other routes, of course he could, but I think there may be an immediate rematch clause in that fight, and I hope it happens again, because it's got to be one fight where some rounds there were 4 or 5 significant punches landed the entire round by both boxers, and I was gripped. I was on the edge of my seat, and it doesn't often happen like that. You know, sometimes it can go either way with these big fights. Mayweather Pacquiao, not everyone enjoyed that fight. I personally thought it was a boxing masterclass from Floyd, but I'm a massive Floyd fan, so I would say that, I guess. I thought Ward boxed tremendously. I want to see the rematch further down the line. This weekend, there's lots of good fights from around the world. Lomachenko and Waters, that is a massive fight. Lomachenko is a guy who's had less than 10 pro bouts now, and I think it's his third fight for a world title. He's already a 2-weight world champion. He lost one. It's insane what he's doing in such a, I say relatively early in his career. He had an extensive amateur pedigree, so not, you know, but it's a completely different ball game. Waters has been around for a long time, has had some good victories himself, so that's a great fight Saturday night. Wembley Arena, where I will be ringside, you got a lot of good fights. Conor Benn pulled out today. He's got shingles, I believe, but there's still some great fights on the card. Craig Spider Richards, Jake Bull, Ted Cheeseman, Felix Cash, Jack Healy, who we know is my guy. You know, a lot of time for Jack, top man. I wish him the very best in his first fight on a Matchroom card. It's only his second pro bout, Wembley Arena, so you know, watch out for Jack Healy. He's a big prospect for me. I was at his debut ringside as well, and he's a great, tremendous guy, really lovely fella as well, so I can't wait to see him on that big stage. I feel like he truly deserves it. John Wayne Hibbert was supposed to be fighting Tommy Coyle. That fight has fallen through. Tommy Coyle's pulled out because of personal problems, I believe. Martin Geffen has stepped up. You know, he's been around for a long time, Martin Geffen. It's a good fight in the circumstances, 4 or 5 days notice, so fair play to him for taking the fight, and hopefully the Hibbert Coyle fight happens down the line, maybe March, April time. Andreas Scarpa beat Hibbert last time out, and he's defending his title against O'Hara Davis. O'Hara Davis first step up really to a good guy, Scarpa. He was underrated by a lot of people, probably including myself, earlier in the year. He put on a great performance beating John Wayne Hibbert, so now O'Hara Davis is going to step up against him. I think O'Hara is a great prospect, I really do, and I believe he will come through and he will win the title. Martin J. Ward is defending his British title. Reece Bellotti is fighting for the English title. There are so many fights on this card. It is a card not to be missed. Big City Dreams on Sky on Saturday night. So many fights on the card. I forgot to talk about the fight that I'm looking forward to the most on the night. Ben Hall is fighting Carson Jones, mate. That is a fight. Carson Jones has been in some wars, 50-something professional bouts. You know, he's been in with Kell Brook, he's been in with Rose, he's been in with a lot of people. He pushed Kell Brook really close as well. Ben Hall, undefeated, very young, 23 years old, I think 24 years old, 10 fights. Is a massive step up for him, massive step up. You know, I interviewed him maybe a month ago now, down his gym. He's part of a big camp, Peter Sims gym, really good, really fun. You know, they're thriving at the minute. The gym is buzzing with all the great fighters in there at the minute. But the confidence and the glint in Ben Hall's eye is a feat. And I just don't think people know who Ben Hall is yet. I mean, inside boxing we know Ben Hall, but a lot of people who aren't massive boxing fans won't know who he is, and they'll think on paper it is really soon for him against a 50-fight veteran in Carson Jones. For me, I have faith, and I really believe Ben Hall is going to shock a lot of people and make everyone sit up and take notice of Ben Hall, because this is a great fight. Can't wait for it Saturday night. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Let me know what you thought of Kovalev Ward, because that fight was dividing opinion everywhere. Let me know what you think of it. Don't forget to jump onto CombatDocket.com. Thanks for watching.